And welcome back. Well, even before Morgan Rebholz was born, her parents knew that they'd be in for a bumpy ride. For starters, Morgan is a twin. During the pregnancy, doctors also discovered she had a life-threatening heart problem. Fortunately, Morgan and her twin sister were born at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, the leading hospital in the country for treating babies with this condition. And we're excited to meet Morgan today, along with Mom Kelly and Dad Chris. Hi, you guys. Hi. Thanks for being here. I think this is just a wonderful story. But let's go back a little bit, because about 17 years ago, you were pregnant. Morgan and her twin sister are now 16. And first and foremost, you're pregnant with twins. That in general has got to be news and a little stressful. And then you find out that one has a life-threatening condition.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right. Finding out that as first-time parents that you're going to have twins is a little scary in and of itself. But you get through it. You say, okay, we're just going to have a lot of sleepless nights, a few years of chaos, complete chaos, but you say, you know, we'll make it through. And I think it's our human nature that, you know, we're optimistic. So we're not just going to have one healthy child. We're blessed with having 2 healthy children. Right. But all that changed pretty quickly in the pregnancy. So.
At what point in your pregnancy did you find out?
I was in for my first ultrasound, official ultrasound. And I was about 18 weeks. Okay. So we had just gone in for into our OBGYN's practice, so we weren't at Children's. There wasn't anything that was, you know, abnormal that we thought at that point. And the technician actually noticed in the ultrasound a very small water cyst on the back of Morgan's neck. And to lay people like Chris and I, that didn't seem like it would be such a big deal, right? Right. But it was at that point that we were introduced to Children's Hospital, and we realized what was to come really was a big deal.
Well, and being at Children's Hospital, you gave birth, you had the twins. Talk about those first few hours for Morgan, because immediately after giving birth, she's whisked away. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it started out relatively complicated in that they arrived 5.5 weeks early. So on top of it all, they were, you know, 3 pounds, a little over 3 pounds each. And so Alix came first, and they were able to stabilize Alix and get her into an isolate and whisk her away. Morgan, not so much. She coded early, wasn't breathing. They attempted to resuscitate, and that didn't work, and so they had to intubate. And intubation on a 3-pound child is a little bit more complicated. And so,
at 3 pounds, are they almost fitting in your hands?
They're basically the size of that coffee mug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them! They're so little, holding hands.
Yeah. So we got them. Kelly was in recovery, and we got the twins both safely into the NICU. And then at that point in time, stabilization just wasn't occurring, and so it was a pretty tenuous couple of hours. Morgan's vitals started to decline rapidly, so I went and grabbed Kelly from recovery and said, "We've got to go down. I don't know that this is going to happen." So we did that, and we were all sitting around the isolates, the medical staff and what have you, and I'm not sure what inspired it, but at some point in time it asked the medical staff if they minded taking Alix from her isolate and putting her in to the same isolate with Morgan.
Putting them together.
They had spent that 8.5 months earlier together, and perhaps that would give some peace and solace to Morgan. And so they did that, and almost instantaneously Alix assumed the position, the last ultrasound we saw. That exact position. It was almost as she put her hand on Morgan's shoulder. Yeah. And within 15 to 20 minutes, we witnessed our first miracle. Morgan's vitals stabilized. Her blood pressure came up from what was down to 6, and her heartbeat stabilized. And that was the first of many hurdles that we crossed, but it was a very vital one, obviously. And so. Do
you still have that same sort of bond with your twin sister?
Yeah.
You do?
Twin bond.
Yeah. How do you feel today? I know you had 3 heart and 8 other surgeries that saved your life. Doctors made these decisions to do all these things, and against, you know, norm, they brought you in with your sister at that time. How do you feel today?
Good. I enjoy being a junior at Catholic Memorial. I'm very active now, and it's way different than it was before.
Yeah. And you can do sports now, too, even.
Yeah, the doctors said I could even run a marathon if I wanted to.
Really?
Yeah, but the mile in gym class is not my favorite thing to do. So I doubt I'd be doing a marathon anytime soon.
No, just work on that, getting it around, 8 minutes. That's hard enough the way it is. Talk a little bit, so right now you do things like tennis, basketball, you enjoy golfing with your dad occasionally.
Yeah.
All those great things. How have you stayed in the Children's Hospital family? Because I know that's been important to you after what they did for you and for Morgan.
Well, I would say that, I mean, we're involved in lots of ways.
Sure.
We thought it was important to give back to Children's Hospital because, as you can imagine, I mean, we are so thankful to have them here. The expertise with Morgan's particular heart defect, kids that were born 12 years before, just 12 years before Morgan was born, with her defect did not survive. They died typically within hours or days. And Dr. Tweddle, who was here at Children's Hospital, developed a way to really reroute this heart and make it work on 3 chambers. And so we were just so thrilled that we didn't have to leave home. I mean, here we could stay at home and have this great expertise. So we felt it was really important to give back.
Absolutely.
So in the early days of her life, you know, we weren't able to. We were pretty consumed with keeping Morgan on track. Subsequently, we've become very involved in foundation. Morgan actually volunteers and her sister at Children's Hospital.
That's wonderful, you guys. I want to make sure everybody has the information for children so they can donate, help save other lives, and give the gift of a miracle of life as well. chw.org/WTMJ to donate to Children's Hospital. It's where kids deserve the best. Thanks so much for being here, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
I'm glad that you're living a wonderful, happy life.